Welcome to the channel. I'm Technical Brad, and today we're going to be working on our John Deere Z910 mower, the zero-turn mower that we have. You've seen some other videos where we've all put belts on it and blades and different things. At this particular time, we're going to work on the engine a little bit because it's just not running right. Got something going on there. Sounds like it's missing a cylinder or something.
That doesn't sound good.
So we're going to tear into it, and particularly the engine. So I'm going to take some parts off here. We're going to take this air cleaner unit off, the hose to the carburetor. We've got our screens here to protect it where it draws the air in. We want to get this shroud off of it here so that we can get down in there and check it out and see why it's not running properly. Now we're going to do all that when we come back. So I want to take our air cleaner off. One thing we have here is a band clamp that will hold. So it will hold the hose on. And then that pivots around. Get that out of our way. We've got two bolts down here that we want to remove. Now, technically we don't have to take this off because it will stay attached to our shroud, but I want to get it off here because it's just kind of in the way, and there's only two bolts that hold it on. So I don't have a problem with that. One bolt, and these are 5/16 bolts that we have on here, the heads of them, the socket that we're using. And then this comes off like so. Now that just has a hook in it. We'll take our filter canister system off of there. This just has a hook here that it hooks into this other bracket, and it swings down and bolts to hold that on. I'm going to get the hose off. Well, hi Nitro. How is Nitro? Good to see you, Nitro. Oh, are you going to help with the mower? Are you going to help with the mower? Oh, you're such a good dog. You're such a helpful dog. Yeah, you're such a helpful doggy. Go get me a beer. How about that? Go get a beer. No? Oh, well, you try. I can't get to... Yeah, we can't get to that hose clamp. I really want to take that off the carburetor. We'll go ahead and remove this here brace. What we have is 1/2 inch bolts. And nuts on there. So that's 1/2 inch. They feel like lock nuts because they're not. It's still ratcheting. Now you're gonna get that stuck in there. Oh, how are you gonna get it out of there? Huh? Say, well, have to take the brace off and we get it out of there. What are you doing? Nitro always ready. Watch out. And we have lock nut and bolt on there. Get that out of here. Hi, Nitro. Nitro. right. Now we can get to this band clamp. Get him loosened up. Got our other one up there. Get him loosened up. Take that off the carburetor. We'll put us a cover over that so we don't get any debris in there. So right here we have our fuel pump. And we got a Phillips screw on there. Like so. There's also one at the bottom, but we've got it removed already. So there's actually two of them that hold it in there. All right, we got our screen assembly here. This is to keep debris from going in there. Now what happens is when this thing's running, it's drawing air in from here and circulating around this whole shroud system and blowing it out the bottom. And then there's fins on your motor, on the block and all that, that allow the air to cool it. It's an air-cooled engine. And so if this whole screen was to get plugged up with leaves or grass and debris like that, well, the engine would overheat. And that wouldn't be good for it. But the reason we have to take this one off is because we have to get to the one inside of it. And as we see, there's a finer mesh one inside there. These three screws are a T30 screw. So they use the T30 star type head. And the reason we have to remove this screen, it is bigger than the hole, so it goes past our opening here. So if you don't take this off, you can't get the shroud off. So we have the screen, we have a little spacer piece there. Now we just have a series of bolts around the perimeter of it here to remove. This one over here holds our oil filler and dipstick spout on. And it's a different bolt. It's a shoulder bolt. I don't think these are... Yeah, it's a shoulder bolt compared to the rest of them are regular bolts. And the reason is because it fits into this plastic piece down here. These off. This one over here on this corner has a band on there to help hold this fuel line where it goes into the carburetor. I think that's it. Let's see. Yeah, all right, and the shroud, well, it just lifts off of there. All right, so as we look at our engine, now these are your cooling fins here. So the air is pulled in by this into the engine, into that shroud, and it forces out through these, blows out the bottom, and that's what keeps your engine cool. Okay, so we cracked our plugs loose, and that's just a, what do we got here? 13/16 deep well socket. To put that on, of course, pull the plug wire off. Now this plug wire will come all the way out here now. We got that shroud off. And as we unscrew this, our left side, yeah, it appears to be pretty decent. Like it's burning. It seems like it's been firing. It looks like all the fuel's been burned off of it. Now one thing, I ran this for a few minutes and you heard how bad it was running, hopefully in the video. This side of the engine, our valve cover down here, and this which is exposed, down here, this was warm after 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, you couldn't keep your hand on it. It was that warm. It would burn you. This side over here was warm, but you could keep your hand on it. And it wasn't, you know, something ain't right in there. Like either they're both firing and this one's running really hot because the vents are plugged up, which it's not, or this one over here isn't firing at all, which is my guess. So what's going on is we probably have a bad coil in here, or the plug wire could be broken, but it doesn't look. What do you think, Nitro? I know, we're almost done. we're almost done. We take this one out. Now as we look at it, it's pretty blackened. And it smells like fuel. My guess is this right side ain't firing at all, or maybe a little bit. So I'm gonna bet the problem is that boy right there. And that plug wire goes into this cylinder, that's not firing, to where this side over here is firing into this cylinder. And like I say, down here we were hot, you couldn't leave your hand on it. This side was warm, you could leave your hand on it. It was just warm, so leads me to believe this side's not firing, and that's probably the culprit right there. Now we do have a wire that connects them together. We'll test that wire and see if we've got, if it's good. It doesn't look like it's bad. Test that, and then we'll get a new, actually we might just get a pair of them, replace both of them. And we'll get some parts, and then yeah, we'll be back. All right, so we want to just do a quick little test here. We're going to use our multimeter here. We'll turn this on. We're just going to make sure that our connecting wire here is good. And we're getting our tone through there. So that means the wire that runs from this connector to this connector that connects the two together, yeah, it's probably working pretty good. So that's good. Something else I want to do, because this is the first time I've ever changed one of these. So I want to mark my clearance, the distance right down in here. And that is between the magnet here on the flywheel and the actual coil itself. So we'll come in here, I think that light may be hurting us here. Come in here with 8 thousandths. And it goes through, we'll try 9 thousandths. It's pretty tight. 10 thousandths, even tighter. We got our feeler gauge in there. And look at that distance right in there between the actual magnet that is on our flywheel here, which is right here, between it and the contact inside here. So this one's coming in at 9 to 10 thousandths, and this one's coming in around 9 thousandths. And the reason I want to check that is because we have elongated slots in here where we bolt this on, so this can be moved in or out. So I want to make sure I get it close enough to the flywheel that the magnet is going to be close enough to activate it. So this is the kit that I purchased. It is, it's gonna be hard to see here, 2-piece ignition coil for John Deere engine. And this is for the Kawasaki engine that we have on the John Deere here. Of course, it's made in China. It is new. This particular one also came with new spark plugs for the engine. And here are our coils. The ignition coil, we have, of course, the boot there for the spark plug, and the coil itself. Now the distance I'm measuring, that I measured, is between this contact and the magnet on the flywheel, which will spin through here, and that's what will cause this thing to ignite or send out its spark via the cable to the spark plug, which will be inside the combustion chamber, and it will spark down here between the contacts. We got to set this at 30 thousandths. That's the gap on this particular engine. But first, we got to put these on. And as we see, we have these elongated holes here to bolt it on with, so this can be moved in or out from that flywheel. So that's why I measured that. I just want to make sure that I get this set the right way in or out from it. And then we also have the connection here for the cable that we tested previously. So we'll get set up over here on the engine, and we'll get going on this. All right, so we got our cable undone there. Now we're just gonna see if we can pop these loose. There again, these are 5/16 on this particular installation. And there we are. And that's our bolt. Length of the bolt, probably about a 1-inch bolt there. And just looking at this, I don't see any obvious crack. Whoops, I might have a crack in it. So a lot of times these things will crack somewhere around here, and that's why they don't function right anymore. It doesn't look like it's cracked. A little rusted there, I guess, but doesn't look bad. So they use different models on these. Now what I did is I Googled the part number here on top. You can't hardly see it. It's let's see, 21171-7047. The 7047, the first set of numbers came up with a lot of models of this thing, but the 7047 was one that, oh, there's probably about 6 of them, 6 different ones. They all looked about the same, but I did find one with that proper number, which of course this doesn't have the number on it. But as we see here, we're the same distance apart this way and all that to fit on here. So that's really what we were looking for. Of course, this is, you know, made in China. Hell, I don't know. This was probably made in Indonesia. But you should have the correct one on there. Clean that off a little bit. The breeze is picking up here again. And what we want to do is set him on here. And get our bolts started. Wire should be long enough for the plug, spark plug. Feels like it's going to be long enough here. I don't think. Now they appear to be the same. The wire comes out over here at the same point, and the boot and all that seems to be in the same position. And what I want to do is I want to roll this thing around, and it's going to grab a hold of the magnet there. And we'll get our feeler gauge here. We were at 10 thousandths. So I'm just going to take my 10 thousandths. I'm going to pull this back because the magnets want to grab a hold of it. Put my feeler gauge down in there, and then it'll hold it in position. Now, we got to rock it so that it's not, because the magnet wants to pull it all over the place. Tighten that down. Tighten this one down. Pull out my feeler gauge. And it's going to slide in there. Make sure we got clearance on that. It appears on that side we don't. Now there we don't, we're too close back here. tell you what. Like that. Now we'll spin around, we'll do the other one here. So on our left side here, we have a zip tie. We've got a couple of hoses here that run down to the carburetor, it looks like. Then of course we got our cabling here. So we got to cut this here zip tie off. And we're going to do it oh so carefully over here and hook that. And the kit did come with two replacements for it. So we'll go ahead and crack these open, or loose, I guess. This one, of course, was working okay. I was kind of hesitant about even changing it, but I figure, what the heck, there again, it doesn't, of course this one does work, but it doesn't look like there was anything wrong with it either. Now, hopefully this is why we weren't firing on our other side, is because that, that coil's bad. Some dirt in there, and this is the kind of stuff that builds up in these fins. And you can have critters, you can have mice get up in here and build a nest as well, because they like all those grass shavings that are left behind. So these are actually wires. They're covered in a plastic coating there to help protect them, it looks like. Okay. Set the new one on there. So I thought maybe I wouldn't even, you know, put this side on, but then I figured, yeah, what the heck. Hard to do this with that magnet being in there. We got our clearance, enough clearance around there, so hopefully this will, you know, not expand too much as it heats up. Okay, so we got that wire going down. We'll have this wire. We'll hook onto that terminal. Bend that up just a smidgen so that the connector can fit on it. And same thing over here. Bend that up just a little bit so that the connector can fit on there. And we can put a zip tie on that. Take our zip tie here. That comes with the kit that I bought. Zip tie our wire back together there, and of course cut the excess off. All right, now we need to put our spark plugs in. Hey, Nitro. So our spark plug gap, we checked down here at the end, we're at 30 thousandths, which is what that is. Now the thing we want to compare on our spark plugs, this is of course the new one versus the original one here, and that is the distance of thread that you have here on the end. This thread diameter is going to be common on a lot of different number of spark plugs, but this distance is going to vary on it. So while one with a shorter distance, say it ends down in here, it's only about a 1/2 inch long, this is closer to 3/4 or so, it'll thread into your engine, but it's not going to be deep enough into the combustion chamber to work properly. So you want to make sure that those are both the same distance to the ends, which we are on this one. And you can compare them like this, even to see that the threads, that distance is the same. All right, so we'll get the spark plugs torqued down, and then we'll start putting things back together. tighten down. And I want to make sure that our plug wires, these boots are kind of turned backwards on them. They do move, I guess. And push them on there, and we'll have to be careful to tuck that wire in when we put the shroud back on here. You can hear them snap on. And these cables, of course, will have to tuck into this. We have a groove right here that the cable is going to have to, tuck into. We're looking right here in our, right there at that groove. And that cable fits in there, and then when the shroud fits over there, it'll cover that all up. So, well, we're ready to put the shroud and everything back on here, and we'll see how good it works. Now this has the serial tag on the side of it here, and it has your engine class and all that on there as far as the model of the engine and then the serial of the engine, and that's something you can look up. Just type in Kawasaki. Oh, this is the FX651V series of engine, and there'll be a lot of them come up, and then it's followed by the next series of numbers there, which in this case is the what does it say? Oh, the BS02, and that's the line up here at the top on that tag. So when you're looking this stuff up, that's the numbers you want to run when you're looking for parts. And then this shroud, and there again, we want to make sure our spark plug wires are tucked away in their little area. And then the shroud fits down here. I took the liberty of wiping it off, which will last, until our first pass around the field there, and it'll be all mucked up again. All right. The rest of them are all the same except for the one shoulder bolt, which we have here, and it fit up here on our fuel filler plug. And the reason it's a shoulder bolt is because of the plastic piece that makes up where you fill the oil and check the oil. And so you want to make sure you put that right bolt in there, because if you don't, you'll tighten it up too tight. If it doesn't have that shoulder on there, that shoulder makes it stop, and it doesn't crack the plastic. That holds the filler tube on. So we got two screws that hold the fuel pump on. I know you won't be able to see the one at the bottom because, I can't see it. Very good. Put our screen back on. Put that spacer piece on there and line it up. I think it seems to line up no matter which way you position. The holes are equidistant. A little more torque on it with the ratchet deal here, like so. And we have the upper cover here. The upper cover. Tighten these up. All right, here we go. This is the heavy-duty filter unit for the Kawasaki. We have a band clamp on here that we've loosened up. This is your air inlet. As we see, it's kind of dirty in there. Got some grass and stuff pulled up in it. We'll clean that off. As I said, there's a band clamp that fits around that to seal it. The end here has two spring clips on it. The end comes off, and inside our filters. We got an outer filter and an inner filter. And then that's what it looks like down inside the canister. And then the inner one fits into the smaller hole in here, and the outer one fits into the bigger hole, and you've got double filtration, which obviously this one we probably better replace. All right, so we're ready to put the air cleaner back on. This is the hose that connects the air cleaner to the carburetor, and it's made in China. So I don't feel so bad about getting parts to replace that was made in China. Hell, the original one was. Put that hose on that. Put the hose onto here. Then put that on there. Now that clamp is on there. Let's see, why isn't that fitting on there? Our clamp is sitting down below on the engine housing. Thus, not letting it sit there properly. Tighten them both down, like so. All right, we just got to hook our band clamps up here on our engine. And we'll put our brace back across there, and then we'll be ready to try it out, see how good it works. Let's see how good it works. Hopefully. Nitro. Good job, Nitro. Yay, good job. Boy, you fixed it. Now, that's the last time I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, next time it's all on you. You're a good dog. So, obviously we're firing on both cylinders. You can tell it's running a hell of a lot smoother. We'll take it out and run it around a little bit. See how good it works. Good job, Nitro. Good job, Nitro Doggy. Yeah, you do good girl. Good dog. That Nitro Doggy. Yeah, it's running perfect right now. That did the trick on it. The only thing left to do is replace air filters on it. We'll have to order a set of those and pick up a set. And then we'll be able to mow with it. As soon as the weather breaks and quits raining, we'll be able to mow again. Yeah, not bad for the first time to do that. Worked out pretty well. All right, well, we just spent a couple hours out mowing. We're up to 1022.7, so we put 2 hours on the old hour meter there, and well, the engine's running really, really good. No issues with that. The new coils, well, they did the trick. So very happy with that. Very happy with the outcome here. Shut him off here. Yeah, it works really, really good. So yeah, that coil you know, was dead here on our right side. So yeah, that's the process. Now this happens to be a Kawasaki brand engine here, internal combustion gasoline, 2-cylinder, 22 horse, but you know, a lot of the brands, Coil and some of the rest of them, are going to be probably very similar to the same you know, way of taking them apart and putting those coils on. So yeah, very happy with the outcome of that, and hey, we'll see you guys in the next video. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. That helps us to grow and put more of these videos together. And as I said, we appreciate you stopping in and seeing what we got going on out here on the old farm with the old, or the young Nitro doggy. Well, are you, a year old now, aren't you? About 13 months, 14 months? Good girl. Does a good job cutting the grass too. We got, looks pretty good.